to more Sherlock Holmes. Just let me get it up here real quick. Well, I got a copyright claim last time, so I will be... Why is this altered? Let's get to use that. You'll just have to listen to me instead. And guess we gotta restart again. Because the settings changed. But that's okay. Let's see, load. Yes, I want to load. So, we got pretty far last time, I'd say. I've forgotten what I'm supposed to be doing this time, however. What was my last dialogue? Alright, so, we have to head to the... We have to head to the journalist, right?
I have no
Or maybe he's at the wasp's nest?
Let's go to the wasp's nest.
Oops, that was the wrong way. Wasp's nest is...
Let's go to the wasp's nest. No, if Bluto sees me, it could prove to be quite dangerous. Let's return to Baker Street to change.
Yes. Suddenly there was a woman in my face. Hello.
Good evening. There'll be a nice tip in it for you if you can tell me if you recently saw a journalist here.
Yes, sir. A damn nuisance, that man. And a real cad. He cursed me out something fierce for staining a book that he put down, even though it was him who was shaking so much that he soiled it with a whole lot of ale.
Oh, the book.
He was reading a book?
Oh, not a real book. A halfpenny rag. He put it down on the ground, and I put it in the paper bin for the stove. It should still be there if it weren't already put in the fire.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss.
At your service, me lord.
Now give her her tip. Always tip your waitresses. Also, is it just me or is this game really dark? Let me see. No, no, good, good. No, no, no. I guess it might just be here. Is it the sunshine outside my window at the moment? Let's see.
Some paper. Ink stains. This must be the table where Bulling writes his copy.
The Boys Standard. Spring-heeled Jack, the terror of London.
Spring-heeled Jack, a fantastical character that terrorizes the population of London. This journalist has some far from cheerful reading.
How about... Are you okay, dude?
Evening. A pint for me and have one for yourself. I'm looking for a journalist, a good client of yours. Goes by the name of Bulling. Ring any bells?
Haven't seen him for a day or two. He must be sleeping it off somewhere. Where to hide from the landlord when you owe some serious bread?
Oh dear.
What paper does he work for?
I don't know, but I can't believe that he works at his rag, because he's always round the pub scribbling his useless papers. The last time I seen him, he spent all day at that table drinking and scratching away from morning till night. He finished by celebrating, and without the help of a rich chap, he would have fleeced me of a guinea.
That rich chap being Watson, I imagine.
Thank you, my friend.
That's nothing.
Drink your pint. Okay, so...
No, if Bluto sees me, it could prove to be quite dangerous.
Indeed. But, so... Is that it, I imagine? Oh, no. Please no.
Let's return to Baker Street. Tom Bulling isn't here, but the Baker Street irregulars should be able to track him down. Perhaps Watson will have something to tell me in the morning.
Nice. Nighty night.
Up at last, Holmes. Were you able to get anything from that crook at the Wasp's Nest yesterday?
Not yet, but I am working on it. And yourself, Watson, what were you able to find out from your colleague about the sale of second-hand female parts?
Holmes? Well, actually...
Let it be, Watson. It was tiring, no doubt.
Well, as soon as I mentioned the possible existence of a black market dealing in human parts, everyone in the hospital became very tense. This silence, therefore, tells us more than anything else at this point.
However, I have trouble believing that such a peculiar dealing as that involving Annie Chapman's uterus could have gone unnoticed in the medical community, if that is indeed what happened.
That's my opinion, as well as that of my old university colleague. He maintains that any form of organ trafficking would be impossible, not to mention unnecessary.
Well.
However, he did tell me something rather troubling. The unexplained disappearance of several corpses from the hospital morgue. He has allowed me to investigate, provided I do so discreetly, and here is what I found, concealed in what appeared to be a secret letterbox.
Interesting, an encoded message.
Indeed, and look, the symbol of a certain well-known Spartaca encyclopedia is printed on it. Perhaps it will help in deciphering the letter.
Thank you, Watson. Are you going out again?
I promised a new patient, Captain Stenick, I'd go round to examine him. He lives nearby. I may be back before you've had a chance to decipher this mysterious message.
Oh, then. So is organ trafficking a more recent thing than that's quite a big problem nowadays, isn't it? Right. I need an encyclopedia, right? Or do I have it? I think I have it. Possibly.
Good. Let's decipher the encoded words in the message that Watson found at the London hospital. Good. Let's decipher...
Yes.
Good. Let's decipher the...
Oh, here we go. Oh boy. I need... these two, right?
The index of the Spartaca encyclopedias seems to have a connection with this letter.
You must search in the inventory for the two documents that will permit you to resolve this puzzle. Next, click on the document's index letters that you will have found and place them in the boxes corresponding to the correct symbols. Click on the document's index letters that you will have found.
The index of the Spartaca encyclopedias seems to have a connection with this letter.
Okay, yeah, there's the S, and here is also S. Okay, so the A, B, C, etc. So it doesn't show. So that's 13, for instance. Which will be this one. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That would be M. Oh, okay, it does it with all of them. 3, that would be C. 2 would be B. This might be fully incorrect, by the way. Double V, that's 10. It's 8. It's 4. It's D. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm doing this entirely incorrect. Is that double X maybe? V, I. E, X, X3? Hmm. Yeah, this is starting to make no complete sense. V, I, V. That's 5, 6, 11. No, wait, that's 9. That's 12. I feel like uh, what's a 17? Yeah. Am I supposed to do something with the... I'm pretty sure this is entirely wrong. Hmm. Let's see. It's Z. What happens if I... let's try again.
Good. Let's decipher.
So, is this supposed to be a V, for instance? 5? Or is it supposed to be X? Let's go with 5 and see what happens. Okay. Um, so is that tens or is it? Because I don't understand what these are supposed to be doing. So V is X, whereas these are V, and then V is X. So X I V, and then X X 3 would be okay. Yeah, now things are actually starting to look a little bit like words. X V, that's 15. Um, so I V woman. New command woman. Uh, XXI. So new command subject woman. X2 then. Deliver. Oh, that's gotta be an R then. Deliver. XXV. Delivery. Ooh. D3. And EI. Is that right? New command, subject, woman, delivery. Oh,
Elementary.
apparently yes. Wharfdale 17.
My dear Watson, I congratulate you on your investigation. This letter seems to well and truly confirm the organised trafficking of bodies in London.
My God, how dreadful.
Watson, we must go to the address that appears in this message. I would suggest you take your weapon.
It hasn't left my side since the beginning of this whole affair, Holmes.
I'll also be putting on my workman's disguise again. One never knows.
But what about me, Holmes?
Stay as you are, Watson. At worst, you can pass as my employer. Find Wharfdale Road on the map of London, Watson.
Understood, Holmes.
Well, he will do that, you say, but I will be the one to spec the map. I feel like it's this
Yes,
one.
I have, Holmes.
Here we are, Watson. 17 Wharfdale Road. Let's be careful.
You think so, Holmes? This house seems to be abandoned.
Well, you know, it's an old place.
Given the layer of dust accumulated in the square, this door must rarely open.
It's gonna rain, Watson. Hold on, my cat is currently got himself stuck on one of my shelves. There we go. I should probably head inside before lightning strikes our heads. How about this door? No. Watson, do you have a flashlight? So this was the where we opened door. Nope, what's this?
No, I can't do that.
Oh, that didn't have something you can do. What about this?
This trolley seems to be in good condition, apart from the broken wheel, of course.
Should we repair the wheel? Okay.
A tarred cover. No, I can't take it like that.
Well, fight that, don't get your head started.
This stone was blocking the wheel.
Probably for a reason.
No, I can't do that. No, I can't take it like that.
Are we smashing a window? What are we doing?
This rope seems strong. It is sure to come in handy.
Hmm.
I need something.
I was gonna say, are you just going to take someone's laundry? That seems, incredibly rude, if nothing else, you know?
This trolley seems to be in good condition.
I wish this game had like a dedicated look at everything. Any ideas, Watson?
Let's hurry, Holmes. This neighborhood makes me ill at ease.
Everywhere that isn't Baker Street makes you feel at ease.
Look, if we lift a board from this window, we should be able to pass through. But first we have to get ourselves up there.
You are joking, Holmes?
Never. Hmm. It's significantly harder to see with like in third person, but might be something I missed. Nope. Oh, right, maybe I can just cut the rope. Yeah, that was it. Can we get up here now?
Look,
You are joking, Holmes?
Oh, apparently not. I picked up, like, well, I removed the rock, I didn't pick it up apparently.
this trolley seems to be in good... No, I can't do that. No, I can't take it like that.
So we got a rope. Now what do I do with the rope? Do I... Do I...
This trolley seems to be in good condition.
Do I cut the trolley?
No, I can't do that.
We don't cut... Do I cut the tar?
There, this piece of tarpaulin is very thin, but solid enough for our purposes.
But what the devil are you doing, Holmes?
Excellent question. Are we combining the two, maybe? We are not.
This trolley seems to be in good condition. No, I can't do that. Look.
Nope.
You are joking, Holmes?
Never joking. Well, we got some tar, but... So... Well, it's got tar. Maybe I can try opening, like, the whole door?
Closed. This lock is solid, but very old. I should be able to force it.
Just... Nice.
This lock is solid, but very old. I should be able to force it.
What shall we do, Holmes?
There, by sliding this piece of tarred tarpaulin, I was able to quite simply force the lock. Let's go in.
Incredible!
Oh, good God, there's light in here. Thank you.
There's something here.
Need a knife?
There's something here. A trapdoor.
The hole. Oh, we will not go down there yet.
Closed. These little metal instruments are rather curious. I'll take one.
We're basically cat burglars at this point.
Some makeup applicators. These jars contain chemical products. I have no idea what they are for.
But you're not gonna take those? You're taking everything else.
This door was recently reinforced. Impossible to open it.
Oh my. What exciting stuff could be in there. So, down the trapdoor we go then.
We must find a way to get down through it, Watson.
Incredible.
Well, I have a rope. Move out of the way, Watson. Watson, please.
Excellent. Now, on to the next step. I will go down alone, Watson. Try to cover for me if someone should happen along.
Understood, Holmes.
How? We're breaking an entry. How do you cover for that?
A coffin, recently made and already broken.
That's some shoddy craftsmanship, that is.
It is a stretcher that can be dismantled into 2 pieces. I have to find a way to take it upstairs, I think. I'll be needing it.
For what?
Here's an electrical mechanism. Turning the handle should supply it with energy. Ah, it would seem that there is a broken connection.
Oh no. Well, there's this stretcher.
Rings, wedding rings, gold teeth. I don't imagine where they came from.
Probably, you know, the
A
coffin.
hammer. I'll take it. Pincers. This old box must have held nails a long time ago. Nothing of interest.
What, you don't want a saw? Okay. We got a hammer, a metal stick, and a pincers. Okay. But oh, there we go.
This may come in handy. This may come in handy.
But didn't you have a thing that you want to break apart? And cannot.
Closed. Clothing that appears to be destined to be incinerated. A pointed poker. This is sure to come in handy.
Oh wait, that I'm gonna have to reshape it. So let's try that right away.
This may come in handy. This may come in handy.
Put it in there. No? Okay.
Closed.
Is that how I found everything? I can go back up.
Here's an electrical mechanism. Turning the handle should supply it with energy. Ah, it would seem that there is a broken connection.
Where did my rope bulb go? My rope bulb.
Here's an electrical mechanism.
No, that's not the button. There's something under there. There's a key. Ah, so I have to lift this to get... I can't just crawl under there? I can't just crouch and pick it up?
No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that.
Well, time to go through all of
No,
my
I can't do that.
inventory and see if I can...
No, I can't do that.
Oh,
Excellent. Now,
Jesus
on to the
Christ.
next step.
Whew.
This box is broken. The wires must be reconnected. Pray, think.
Wait, there's no wires here. Oh, okay. So blue, red, yellow. Oh, okay, so I need to match all of them. It's sort of like a straight line, I guess. Like so. Oh, cool. Oh, fuck. So, well, I used to do these kind of. Okay, so I can't start from there. I used to do these kind of things a lot, so. Okay, so that's. So this isn't really much of a problem. Oh, my take. No, okay. Oh, fuck. So. So this way. Okay. Given there's a few of them, I bet this one is the hardest one. So. I can start from there. Is it possible to go around? Yes.
Elementary.
Cool. That was pretty easy. Oops. I broke it.
That's good, Holmes. I don't know why you brought this thing back up, but I can take it.
Perfect, Watson.
Oh, so that's where that thing mine goes.
This bent key just needs a little repair job to make it usable.
Oh, so that's where it's going.
This may come in handy.
Never mind, maybe I just need to combine it with...
This may come in handy.
It may indeed. Come, put the key in. No? Oh, come on. Put the key. Come on. I guarantee I have to use this, but...
This may come in handy.
Yeah, there you go. And then
No, I can't do that.
the hammer,
No, I can't do that.
pincers. There we go. Thank you for the key.
Let's hope that it really is the key to this door.
And so, Holmes?
Oh, where am I? This is pitch black.
Numerous footsteps. Apparently this passage is used frequently.
Oh, okay. Watson, I'm blind. I'm gonna up the gamma just for a moment. Oh, okay. There it was.
What are we doing, Holmes?
That's a good question. Well, I imagine we're going back in here. No? Oh. It's one of those doors.
Closed.
I got a wooden stretcher. Not entirely sure what I need that for, but sure. It's ghost doors. Do I have to use it here? Maybe?
This trolley seems to be in good...
Or up here? We have to fix the broken wheel.
This trolley seems to be in good This trolley seems to be in good condition.
Here?
This trolley seems to be in good This trolley seems to be in good condition,
Nope.
apart from... No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do
Not
that.
with that attitude.
No, I can't do that.
So now we have the trolley. At least there's more down here. That I just didn't see in this pitch black.
Nothing of interest here.
Okay. How about you? Oh,
This little instrument will serve perfectly as a pin punch.
But what the devil are you doing, Holmes?
I'm fixing a cart by breaking another cart. Put this wheel on this cart.
Elementary.
But what the devil are you doing, Holmes?
Push it.
No, I can't do that. This stone was blocking the wheel.
Whee! Crush.
Excellent. Now, on to the next step.
I'm really looking forward to when I'm done out here because I can't see. Is this where I use this? Indeed.
I need something.
You need what?
I need something. I need something. I need something. I need something. I need something.
Sense of purpose in life. Oh Jesus! Hey, hello. Well, maybe I need to make it into like a ladder. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, now I can make a ladder.
I hope this ladder will support my weight.
Well, one way to find out. It is pitch black.
I need something. Let's go.
Wee.
My God, Holmes, where are we?
For us to find out, my friend. This woman is dead, Watson.
Yes, several days ago, Holmes, but the body is perfectly preserved. No odour, no visible decomposition. Look, Holmes, a label from the London hospital. It must be a corpse stolen from the London hospital.
Well done.
Glass eyes in all shapes and all colours. It's a puzzle box. Let's see if I can open it.
Oh fuck. Well. I have a feeling that brute forcing this isn't going to work. It seems the puzzle box agrees with me. We'll come back to that. Photography. Souvenir of Liverpool, autumn 1883. I give you my love, my Alexis, mum.
This old photo shows a young man dressed after the fashion of an employee in front of a shop. Strange smell. What do you think, Watson?
A zinc chloride solution without a doubt. A product generally injected into cadavers to help preserve them.
What? Formaldehyde?
Someone made up this corpse. The lips have been coloured and the rings around the eyes carefully camouflaged. Yes, somebody wanted to give the impression of life.
To what end?
Some makeup applicators.
Well, Watson, it's pretty common. Spiritualism. After becoming a celebrity at the court of the Tsar of all Russia for having invoked the greatest figures of the past, such as Prince Alexander Raskolnikov, is now the service of the humble. His exceptional gifts of divination allow him to invoke your dearly departed to make them come back to life under your very eyes. They will speak to you and will appear in the window of time created by the vital energy of your servant.
Amusing. The man in the photo taken in 1883 and the one on Prince Raskolnikov's leaflet are one and the same, and no more a prince or a Russian than you or I, Watson.
What? A charlatan?
Look at this photo. It is inscribed Ethel Broome Street, 1851 to 1878. This young woman who died 10 years ago looks like the one stretched out on this table. This may come in handy. These clothes are new, just like the deceased's dress. I imagine her clothes were changed. Watson, this corpse was embalmed and made up and dressed to look like a woman who had died 10 years earlier. All is clear, Watson. A charlatan, passing himself as a prince, making the dead come back by using corpses as puppets.
Which explains the disappearance of corpses at the London hospital. It was to fuel this sordid entertainment.
So, let's see,
This door was recently reinforced. Impossible to open it. This cheap jewel must be an accessory of some sort.
right, I believe we now have to
It's a puzzle box.
face
Let's
the
see if
puzzle
I can
box.
open it.
Oh, it's random, okay. So, what's the point of this? Um, I'm very confused.
It's a puzzle box.
Oh, maybe I need to press accept. Ah, I see, okay. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but I think I fucked it up. No, that worked.
There we are. Magnificent.
Jesus.
This square object is very unusual.
Oh, can I combine it with this? I can. How about this? I can. Cool. Can I... No. Yeah. Here on the information, that boss was able to find out about the client. Ethel loved pink and spoke in composed and soft voice. At the end, she couldn't do more than whisper, but she was still able to sing some of the Schubert tunes that she loved. She would undoubtedly have been a virtuoso on the violin if her husband hadn't impeded her. Instructions: pink robe, assorted jewelry, seance planned for 1 week, hence that the body will be taken today or tomorrow by 2 chaps that the boss recruited. Their sign of recognition will be a triangle and a square attached with a red ribbon. No worries, they seem to be professionals, won't be a problem. Important, mind the quality of your lime for fixing the false eyes. During Seance 4, the bosses asked me to close the eyelids of the ghost so that the clients don't notice anything, because an eye started to fall out. He was furious and wasn't able to proceed to the symbiotic culmination, which alone permits us to get the client's full cooperation and make off with maximum. Transfiguration is the key, as he always says. The boss asked me to make known that if in the future such negligence was repeated, suppose may well be part of the next spectacle in the starring role. I hope that the message is understood. So these charlatans
This
have
letter
been
speaks of a
around
sign of recognition.
since
Interesting.
forever, huh? Okay.
This door was recently reinforced. Impossible to open it.
Right, so are we done in here?
Holmes, I hear a cab stopping in the courtyard. Someone's coming.
Oh boy.
It is probably the dealers, Watson, but instead of running, what if we were to meet them, if we managed to win their trust?
You are joking, Holmes?
I am never joking. No, Jesus, you are very close.
Oi, what you doing there, you? It's private in here.
Calm down, we aren't here as tourists.
Fight.
We have come to collect our packet.
Oh, well then, you just had to say. I was told that you weren't no tramps, but I weren't expecting that you was... Given your get-up, I guess your boss.
Yes.
Well, the subject ain't ready yet. I ain't done with it yet. You'll have to come back.
Well, that's, a real problem.
Organs.
Say, we have personal orders too, for some organs. You wouldn't know where we can find them.
What type then?
Kidney, uterus.
Oi, I don't hack up my dollies. That's the work of an artist.
But you wouldn't happen to have a colleague who might furnish this type of item?
No, you can't make a copper doing that nowadays. Since the bigwigs made it easy to get stiffs, the medical schools are bursting with bodies to carve up. Docs and students have got all they need. Business is dead. For a few coppers, hospital bloke might help you out, but I don't know for sure. They'd be right in for it if they got caught. It probably just ain't worth it.
I understand. And what do you do with the corpses once you're finished with them?
I don't bother myself with that. But one thing's for sure, after the séance they're good for nothing but chucking out. I ain't Napoleon's embalmer.
Right, goodbye.
Well, if you'll excuse...
He's got a funny way of talking, you.
Oi, it's normal. He's a brain, you see. A thinker at that. Sees you round, old man.
So, Holmes, the corpses that have disappeared from the London hospital are used during séances. Nothing to do with organ trafficking.
Yes, it all suggests nothing of the kind is underway in London. In the medical world, all dealings would be visible, not to mention unnecessary. The crook we met confirmed this viewpoint. It's hard to imagine, therefore, that our Whitechapel killer perpetrated these massacres with the goal of selling the organs.
What lead should we follow now, Holmes?
Try to learn more about Tumblety. This squibby should give us some information, but first I must stop the journalist Tom Bulling from harming him. I hope my secret police will soon have some information on him. While we wait, Watson, I would ask you to inform your colleagues of your recent discoveries. It would be good if these morbid, ghostly spectacles stopped, and this will need to be done at the London hospital.
You are right, Holmes.
Right.
Another false lead followed by the police, Holmes? Yesterday's Times says that a John Fitzgerald, who had claimed responsibility for the murder of Annie Chapman, has finally been released. He was, it says, lying.
That's of little importance, Watson.
Is it?
It's incredible. It's been more than 3 weeks since the murderer struck, and the tension is as strong as ever. The press won't stop talking about him, and people are still full of fear. Perhaps the killer got what he wanted, people talking about him, and has chosen to stop committing crimes. What do you think, Holmes?
I doubt it, Watson. Everything leads me to believe that he is in hiding and waiting for the right moment. The area is packed with police, and that would obviously hamper his work.
You think he will start again, Holmes?
I have every reason to believe nothing will stop him short of his arrest or his death. Sadly, our investigation has reached a dead end, and I fear that we'll need another victim to get back on track.
Yes, how awful. And what of the case of the burnt mat? Have you resolved that?
Oh, that's a matter of little interest, and resolving will be of no benefit, above all to Miss Fleming. Ha! I hear the footsteps of my faithful Wiggins on the stairs. The game is afoot again, Watson.
Little Wiggins.
Mr. Holmes, the scribbler resurfaced. At last word, Pounce saw him racing to Central News Agency where he works.
Excellent, Wiggins. And still nothing on the doctor?
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. He's one sleek yank, but we'll find him.
Good work. Here's something for you.
Hey.
I must leave you, Watson. If I can get my hands on this bulling, I will have much more interesting news on the bothersome Tumblety. I have only to change. If you can, Watson, I entreat you to stay here and await my word. We may not be more than two when the time to act comes.
You can count on me, Holmes.
Don't you have, like, patients to attend to? That's a hell of a wig. What am I doing in here? Did I just get teleported in there for no reason? Oh, there's the sun.
I must go to the Central News Agency. I'm at the press agency where bulling works.
At night, where no one is here.
The fire has almost gone out, but the stove is still burning hot.
They work until late, in other words.
A mirror. I would imagine these are compartments to organize the paper's incoming dispatches.
There's a person here. I didn't see you earlier. Hello.
What do you want?
It would be very informative to search Bulling's desk before meeting him, but first I must get rid of this bothersome person, perhaps by offering him a scoop.
Right, but how? You just make something up?
What do you want?
It would be very informative to...
How many clocks does a room need? Is it more than one, or is that one just very, very loud? It's also broken.
I need more information.
Oh, maybe I can search the trash cans. Why are you still here, just standing around? Go home. Don't you have like a wife or something? Surely she misses you. I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. I feel like I've...
A mirror.
Oh, maybe I can hand him this one.
Good evening. I'm looking for Tom Bulling, the journalist.
He isn't here. He must be sleeping off somewhere. He gave me a tip. He wanted to save a scope for me. He always gets a good dirt, and yet when he comes in here, it's just to warm his behind. Look, he pulled his desk over the stove.
Well, I have a scoop for you.
Listen, Scoop, I'm bringing it over. Only if Bulling isn't here, I'm leaving.
Wait, what's this scoop?
Bulling promised me a reward for info. There's a charlatan who does spiritualist seances that are a little bit special. He steals corpses from the morgue, puts makeup on them, dresses them up, and then uses them as puppets.
I'll give you your dues. We'll pay you if this info is true.
I'll write down the address of the hideout on the crook's leaflet, but the police will be in on this one, so you better get there in time.
Understood. I'll go alone. Too bad for Bulling.
Hey, you wouldn't have a little something in advance?
Look on Bulling's desk. I know that he always leaves a few coins around for his snitches. Cheers.
Watson won't be pleased that I'm divulging the case, but I don't see any other way.
So what do I got? I owe you. Okay.
This is Bulling's desk, the one closest to the stove. These are Bulling's notes. They are of little interest at the moment, but one never knows.
Well, I better take the money.
Some coins. I will take them. That will avoid suspicion if the journalist returns. This may come in handy.
Anything else? Seems to be it. Oh no, apparently I missed something.
A charred match.
Permit me to defend myself against the slanderous accusations brought against me. You were not lied to regarding the facts. Mr. Bulling spends all of his time in the most odious of pubs, but I am only doing my work as a journalist. It is during these outings that I can find the best information because I am thus in contact with a common man. Let me prove to you, dear boss, that I can bring to this agency what it deserves, the most extraordinary and the most stimulating information for...
Even handwriting, yet fairly recognizable.
Do I need to combine something in my items, maybe?
The fire has almost gone out, but the stove is still burning hot.
Yeah.
Bulling recently used the stove. A torn piece of blotting paper. Curious, curious. It looks like someone wanted to destroy this piece of blotting paper that had red ink on it.
Oh.
I can make out a few more letters, but backwards. I need something to help me.
Oh, the mirror. Also, Mr. Moore, I have noticed that one of your employees, Thomas Bulling, arrived at the meeting in a state of inebriation. I must ask you to take care of your team's discipline. I know that you indulged this journalist, given the explosive information that he manages to flush out, but this behavior is unacceptable. This should not repeat itself, or I will hold you personally responsible. The assistant director.
Bulling's boss, Mr. Moore, seems to be protecting the journalist. A mirror. By putting this piece of blotting paper in front of the mirror, I can read what is written.
Information on the Whitechapel killer. Call by telephone WA.
Apparently, our journalist gets his information by telephone too. Sadly, the name is almost erased. If I telephone one of Bulling's contacts pretending to be his assistant, I might learn something of interest.
Oh my god, hold up. I swear, I live with demons. Well, it said WA, so it must be Walsby, right?
This page has some light ink stains. It contains a list of telephone numbers. This page has some light ink.
What happens if I try just calling all of them?
I need more information.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not allowed to.
This page has some light ink.
So I need to find Walsby. Well, got over the desk. Sorry, maybe it's... Maybe it's just try all of them and see what happens.
I need more information.
Oh.
I need more information.
Hmm. See, well, has this something to do with this one, maybe? Kind of looks like this one, so it's 1875 maybe? Let's try. Can't hurt.
Walesby 1875, an ingenious way to save his contact.
Oh, that worked.
Central, Walesby 1875, if you will. Thank you, I will wait.
Walesby, I am listening.
Hello, my dear man. I'm calling on behalf of Tom Bulling.
Bulling? So you know where this hypocrite, this liar, this...
Not at all. He is currently unobtainable. In the meantime, he has left me with a note asking me to pursue his work, and he told me that you were aware...
That's just great. I dropped everything off at his agency, but he didn't even bother to do the same for me. Tell me he at least gave you the information that I was asking in return.
I am ready, sir. I'm listening.
Do the police have a suspect for the bizarre theft of cigarettes and carrots that took place at the commercial street market?
This there's something I need as evidence. Head of the Tories. Scotland Yard is searching for a rabbit that coughs. Maybe it's not Scotland Yard.
I think, according to Bulling, that Inspector Lestrade's team is looking for a rabbit with a bad cough.
Ah, damned Bulling. One day he'll be in some serious trouble for mocking the police. And now, can you tell me, with regards to the parliamentary scandal, what did the head of the Whig Party respond to the Tories who were treating him as a great incompetent?
The head of the Tories, he vote for me. I will surely be your best representative.
According to Bulling, the head of the Whigs said, "Vote for me, I will be your best representative."
Good. That'll make for a good paper.
Really?
There is one last question. According to a government social study, civil servants make the best husbands. Why?
Because a civil servant he is never tired and has already read the newspaper. No. Makes a lot of noise. Goes around in circles in secrecy. I don't really know what the point of this or how to must be at least a civil servant beginning, and so it's not this one. How about goes around in circles? No. This one's odd. Or maybe it's not that. Maybe it's this one. When he comes home from work, he is never tired and has already read the. Yes?
I believe I can confirm that it is, because civil servants aren't tired and have already read the paper when they come home from work.
Very true. Good. It seems like Bulling has finally done his work.
As everything is all in order, can you now tell me where the information is that you sent to the agency?
Yes, there is a large brown envelope near the dispatch cabinet. It's in there that we exchange our tips with Bulling.
1,000 thanks. Goodbye, sir.
My salutations to Bulling.
Oh dear. Okay, so that one was tricky, but
There are several documents in this file. Let's see.
Spring Heel Jack, the Terror of London, a fantastical character, first appearance 1837, associated with several suspicious muggings and robberies taking place in London and other parts of England. Description: a diabolical appearance, bat's wings, horns, blue flames coming out of his mouth and or eyes, etc. Identifying marks: all of the eyewitnesses speak of his capacity to make leaps of superhuman distance, where his nickname. Conclusion: having become the very example of the urban legend of our century, this character fascinates as much as his demonic and fantastical aura, as by the fact that he has never been caught by the police. Important: at the time of the attacks against the young women, Lacey Scales and Jane Astop, the papers covering the events, had record sales for weeks. That's why Spring Heel Jack is the recurring hero of cheap fantasy publications and theater pieces. Popular and financial success guaranteed.
I wonder why Bulling is studying this tale about Spring Heel Jack so meticulously.
Terror of London, Spring Heel Jack, the Phantom Killers, the Butcher's Blade. That's a weird way to write an R, by the way. The Whitechapel Butcher, Dr. Death, the London Ripper, the Bleeder, the Bloody Reaper.
What does that mean?
Mr. Charles Moore, I thank you for this testimony of the Whitechapel Killer that you followed, not EC authentication. Do not hand over to the press without my invitation. Thank you for your collaboration and your discretion. We won't forget this, Inspector Aberline.
Well, well, a piece of information about the murders transmitted exclusively to the police without informing the press. That has piqued my curiosity. Perhaps I should go to the police station to get more information.
Tom, about the letter, given the thanks from Inspector Aberline. Alright, I thought he'd misspelled his own name there for a second. I think that they took the bait even if they were defending themselves. Think of the second. We must be ready if he kills again. Either way, we must keep up the correspondence, be responsive. This idea will save us. We will get the information firsthand and we will make history. But stay quiet and keep a low profile. I'm not really in the know and you will be the first one who gets it if there's trouble.
What does that mean? I have inspected everything, but there's no sign of Bulling. He must have dashed off to his HQ, the Wasp's Nest. However, before I go to see him, I should find out about this mysterious information. It could help me get something out of the journalist. To the police station, then. Let's go to the police station.
The one in Whitechapel? Or a different one?
I have no reason to go that way. Let's go to the police station.
12 in the morning.
Come, back again, are we? Come this way, good man. The inspector has a few questions to ask you.
Oh, well then.
Here is the man, Inspector.
Congratulations, Humphreys. So, my lad, one would say that you owe us a bit of an explanation for having left something with us. What is your full name and profession?
Sherlock Holmes, consulting detective.
Well, how about that?
Mr. Holmes, can you explain this get-up, your presence in the neighbourhood despite my instructions, as well as this most opportune restitution of jewels?
Firstly, I should tell you that not being under your command, I never understood what you said as an order, but rather as advice. I thought I would be wise to follow them to a certain extent. I intended to explain the stolen goods sooner or later. My presence here will allow me to fill you in on a few conclusions that...
If it is in regard to the Whitechapel murders, it won't help us much. We have no doubt that we will be revealing the identity of the murderer to the people in the area in a day or two.
I'm impressed, Inspector, and I offer you my sincerest congratulations. Nonetheless, you should investigate a certain doctor.
Listen, Holmes, let us do our work. You've rid us of a great pain in the rear end by finding those jewels for us. It's weeks of work that you've saved us.
How would that then?
But I think you're a little underqualified for a case like that of Jack the Ripper. Until it's over, I demand that you do not set foot in the area. Is that clear?
I take note of your advice, Inspector. You mentioned Jack the Ripper. Pardon me, but you know the name of the murderer?
Oh, it's from a letter that the Central News Agency sent our way. It was written by the killer. And even if it can't be proven, it must be recognised that the signature is striking. This information is confidential, and I would ask you to keep it to yourself, Holmes.
Can I have a little look? Out of mere curiosity, Inspector. Then I shall disappear.
In that case, I don't see any objection.
Thank you so much.
I love that the sometimes don't actually match what they're saying. Dear patron, I keep on believing the police, teasing the police. No, wait. I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I have laughed when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track. That joke about letter apron gave me real fits. I am down on horse, and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand work the last job was. I gave that lady no time to squeal. How can they catch me now? I love my work and want to start again. You will soon hear of me with my funny little games. I saved some of the proper red stuff in a ginger beer bottle over the last job to write with, but it went thick like glue and I can't use it. Red ink is fit enough, I hope. Haha. The next job I do, I shall clip the lady's ears off and send to the police officers just for jolly, shouldn't you? Keep this letter back till I do a bit more work, then give it out straight. My knives are nice and sharp. I want to get to work right away if I get a chance. Good luck, yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Don't mind me giving the trade name. P.S. wasn't good enough to point this before. I got all the red ink off my hands. Cause no luck yet. They say I'm a doctor now. Haha. God, that was painful to read.
Me? Not up to discovering who Jack the Ripper is? Well, we'll soon find out, won't we, Inspector Aberline? I know who wrote the Dear Boss letter signed Jack the Ripper that Inspector Aberline gave me, and above all, I now know why. This Tom Bulling was inspired by this fantastical character to build a myth out of the Whitechapel Killer. Perhaps he would be receptive if I shared my discovery about him and prevent him from accusing Squippy. I must find him at once. My best bet would be to try my luck at the pub.
Yes, let's see. Map was best.
Ah, Holmes, I got your message, and here I am.
Here you are indeed.
Perfect, Watson. That oaf Bluto is looking for us with evil intentions, and he may be hiding here. I will try to get more information inside. You, Watson, will be our lookout, and at the slightest suspicious sound, do not hesitate to call the constable on his rounds. Good evening, Mr. Bulling.
We know each other?
No, however, I have some information that may be of interest to you.
Talk, my friend. A pint for you if what you say is worth something. Does it have to do with the Whitechapel murders?
Indeed, I know the identity of the man who wrote a letter to the police, a letter entitled Dear Boss, in which the author claims to be the Whitechapel murderer and is signed Jack the Ripper.
What?
It's a journalist who was inspired by Spring-Heeled Jack in order to strengthen the credibility and the seriousness of his agency. This new Jack will give him some first-hand information that he, in turn, will dole out sparingly to the authorities, as well as some carefully distilled indiscretions that the big papers will come to beg of him. He plays both sides off against one another and becomes the chief orchestrator of the rumour. He wrote this letter in this very spot, and he has red ink on his fingers. Like you.
What exactly are you after, my friend?
You've been threatening a certain Squibby to distribute a telegram naming him as a possible suspect in these murders in revenge for an old feud. I would suggest you don't write this note and that you leave Squibby alone.
I'd forgotten about the existence of that rapscallion. I threw that at him when I was visiting the station to get the dope. You should have seen his face.
You must also stop sending these letters that waste the authorities' precious time.
Right, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. I have a great relationship with the Bobbies. Just ask around. I don't have to answer to nobody. Now leave me alone.
You could be arrested for obstruction of justice.
Farewell, sir.
Good riddance.
No, if Bluto sees...
Time to leave. Bye-bye.
Let's hurry to the police station, Watson. We are close to our goal. Squibby will be able to reveal what he knows about Tumblety.
Oh boy.
Squibby, so that's it. You're a free man again. We were just coming to the station to find you.
Yeah, the Bobbies agreed to let me go and I came to see Bluto before ferreting you out. So, you've seen the newspaper man?
Yes, he is in the pub and everything is taken care of, but I'm waiting to hear what you have to say about Dr. Tumblety.
Okay, but we have to be quick. One night, I goes to see Bluto in his hideout that ain't far from the boarding house where this Tumblety bloke has a room. I see him coming in too. He must have been on one real binge. To the point, the Tumblety fella was there, and he smiles at me, all nice like. He tells me he's a great Yankee doctor, but my business interests him. I'm interested, I tell him, but I'm not the type to just jump right in without getting to know a person, see? He invites me around to his room to talk business, just him and me. We empty a bottle or two, and all of a sudden, like, he wants to show me what he's got in this big trunk that he always carts around places. I just about vomited, see? In these jars, just like pickles, you know, there were pieces of meat. And he whispers that it's the lady bits of some old dames. He called them peckymins. I call them love killers, I would. Yuck! After that, he starts to go on about rich folk. They ain't nothing but dogs, and I won't tell you the worst of it. Then he comes all close to me and puts his sweaty hand on my leg. He was one of them types. Not me. I don't wait a second before I give him a good thrashing, and I start running and let go of him, and he still wants to see me again just to talk business. But then I had to do time, so business.
Do you know where he can be found?
Why, ain't he in his digs? Maybe he got to liking life behind bars too. I heard that in some jobs there's a way to.
Thank you for your information, and we'll meet again, my friend. Here is the sum I promised to get you out of London.
Ciao, fella. I've just got a little score to settle with Bluto, and I'm heading for the country. Lipsky!
My dear Watson, we must strike while the iron is hot. We have avoided meeting Dr. Tumblety until now. The time has come to do so.
Do you have an opinion, Holmes?
We must assure ourselves that the factor collector of female organs and a murderer who removes said organs are resident in the same area at the same time is nothing more than coincidence.
How much taller than you am I? I'm like a head taller. Jesus.
I thought that you wouldn't bring me back your keys. Oh, it's you, Mr. Holmes. Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Keys?
Indeed, it is I again. One of your tenants left without returning his keys?
Yes, it's Dr. Tumblety whom we spoke about. Shortly after your last visit here, some constables came and asked me a few questions regarding him. Barely had they left than the doctor came barreling around a street corner and rushed up into his room upstairs. A little while afterwards, while I was tidying, I heard a thud in his room and a rush down the stairs. He left with most of his bags, but without returning his keys. You can go up and see if you wish. The door is still open.
Alright. Is it? It's probably this one that's so well lit, right?
Careful, Watson. Do not walk around here until I've inspected these marks.
I know, Holmes, I know. I understand your methods.
See?
Ah, you have your rule and magnifying glass. I thought that you had forgotten them, Holmes.
I never forget the essentials, my dear Watson. Right foot, light trails. The man was running. Right foot, light trails.
That's
Size
big.
13.
15 feet.
Size 13.
Oh, there's more to be.
Ah, you have your rule.
I never forget the essentials, my dear Watson.
What else?
Right foot, light. Right foot, light. Size
Okay.
13.
What else? Oh,
This isn't water. Going by its sticky texture and odor, I'd say we're dealing with formalin. These are the footprints of a tall man who had recently stepped in formalin and who left this room in a hurry.
Well, can I walk on it and enter the room now, Holmes?
yes. Dear Francis, it is impossible for us to meet again. I am feeling terrible as pursuing our relationship further would put both my marriage and my reputation in danger. I must return to that life of love, fleeting and physical, in which a few coins to these young men assures corporal peace and anonymity. These growing feelings that I have for you makes me scared, and I would prefer to shun this passion for the fear that it may never leave me. Perhaps we shall cross paths again one day in a discreet location where like-minded men meet. I know that you frequent them regularly. You never hide yourself. For my part, I will spend more time with my wife and girls in order to find the serenity I hope to throw the veil of oblivion over our passionate embraces. All the best, Charles. Uh, my dear Francis, it is in putting aside our common past and thus as a friend that I am sending you these words. I have learned from some mutual friends of your recent trouble with the law. You should be more careful. England has nothing in common with the Wild West, but her seedy areas can be just as dangerous. Your attraction to young rogues will cost you dearly one of these days, whether it be at the end of an alley or on the benches of a jury. A man of your quality and fortune does not have to frequent the hovels and bring his pistol with him everywhere. It is not necessary to use violence to find partners, unless this violence pleases you. Certain circles that we used to frequent are still open to you. Take advantage of this healthy and respectable company, rather than demeaning yourself at these destitute lads. And pray get rid of that god-awful chest. Who knows what the people to whom you show, while bragging, must think and speak of it. The man you once loved, Henry.
This Dr. Tumblety seems to be attracted to men more than women. That much is clear. So, the doctor has a handgun, and he would use it to restrain young men, perhaps.
Do not understand how you found yourself in this situation. Your passionate discussions on the legitimacy of this war should have convinced more than one. I still remember when you intimidated him during that meeting. You struck that very characteristic pose, and you exclaimed, "Vicksburg is the key. The war can never be brought to a close until that key is in our pocket." We all applauded. I am sure that even Lincoln himself would have applauded. During these dark hours it was rare to have the occasion to laugh. So many deaths, ending with our much-loved president killed by this coward and left to join those of the victory at Gettysburg, who courageously fell so that the next day the key would be in our pocket.
If this letter is addressed to him, it would appear our doctor is a veteran of the American Civil War. Vicksburg is the key. Now, that is interesting. There are a few pieces of a large glass jar in this puddle. The man who left the footprints on the ground must have
Is
walked
that
in it
an
while
actual
fleeing.
uterus on the ground? It is.
Going by its size, this enormous trunk must be a wardrobe. These brackets are rather unusual. What do you think, Watson?
Let's see, Holmes. These are the names of the battles from the American Civil War.
Let's see. 5 latches, each fitted with a 6-number combination system.
Vicksburg is the key. I know nothing of like the American Civil War, so let's see. It's probably starts with this one, right? Fort Sumter. Uh, 12. Oh, that was already a set. We'll go for 61. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna assume that's the next one, 1709, 1862. But which? Never mind. I was gonna ask which flag, but apparently, Chancellorsville. It has to be that one, right? 0205. 63. We start with hat because it's not the same hat. But it was the right flag. Cool. Gettysburg and then Vicksburg. The next in line is this one. So it goes 7. Oh, I skipped it. 63. Once more, I have no idea which flag or which anything it is. Oh, great, apparently. Then Vicksburg. Uh, well, that was the day after, right? The letter. So it's 4/07/63. I haven't used that one yet.
Elementary.
So
This is dreadful, Holmes. This trunk contains 4 jars in which organs are floating.
Watson, can you tell me at a glance what these organs are?
I would say that they are parts of female reproductive organs.
Are these specimens fresh?
No, and I am quite certain of it. From the colour and appearance, I'd say these organs have been in these jars for several months, if not years.
Let's go to Baker Street.
Is there someone here?
Yes.
What's going on, Finley? You seem to be in a panic.
The 2 police officers wanted to know if someone suspicious had entered here. The Whitechapel killer has struck again, and if I understood correctly, he killed 2 women in the past few hours.
Where?
I don't know. The police didn't tell me anything.
Quick, Holmes, we must catch up with them.
Certainly not, Watson. Mr. Finley, do you know if the doctor had any other pieces of luggage up there apart from this trunk?
1 or 2, I think.
Do you take care of the doctor's laundry?
My wife does laundry for the tenants once a week. The sheets likewise.
Would you be kind enough to let us know as soon as possible if the doctor shows up again?
Certainly. I'm just worried that he won't be back, you see, and I'm annoyed about my keys.
Holmes, I don't follow. The Whitechapel killer is, at this very moment, very close by, and we are just staying put, twiddling our thumbs.
The Whitechapel killer has always been nearby, and what will we do? Go back to the scene of the crime or crimes and mix with the onlookers and trample the crime scenes even more? No, our time will come. Let's return to Baker Street.
Let's go back to Baker Street. Home, sweet home. We were less than 200 feet away from the first victim a few minutes before she was murdered. We might even have heard the murderer's voice, and we haven't done a thing for the past week.
You're the one not doing anything, Watson. For my part, I have been working, and, as you know, I've made good use of this week by tracking down and verifying all of the solid facts on these 2 murders to write up the notes that are on my desk, read them over again, and try to gain a bit of perspective.
Note on the murder of Liz Stride at Dartfield's yard. Certain information that I have collected must be verified. Liz Stride, nicknamed Long Liz, 45 years old, height 5'5", occasional prostitute. She lived for the past 3 years in a stormy relationship with a certain Kidney, a waterside laborer, 36 years of age, whom she left a few days earlier. She charged him with assault but failed to appear in court, and the case was thrown out. The victim was discovered dead by one Louis Diemschatz at 1 o'clock in the morning on September 30th. The man's first thought was to verify if his wife in the building next door was still alive before sounding the alarm. The 2 doctors who came at the police's request to the scene of the crime in the moments after the discovery of the corpse put the time of death after 12:46 a.m. Cause of death, hemorrhage due to a throat injury. The weapon was a small knife with a large blunt edge. The verification of the statement is necessary could this wound have been caused by another tool. That's a long thing. Neither the body nor the clothes were damaged, soiled, or disturbed by the killer. The right hand was open, stained with blood and resting on the chest. The left hand was on the ground, partially closed, holding a packet of pastils. Location of discovery was a courtyard called Datfield's Yard, whose doors led into Burner Street in Whitechapel. Victim was found stretched out on the ground a few inches from the wall of one of the buildings served by this courtyard, the International Working Men's Club. The association, composed mainly of Jews originally from Russia and Poland, were organizing a conference that night in the subject "Why Should Jews Be Socialists?", presided by Mr. Morris Eagle. Well, everyone should be socialists. The meeting ended around 11:30 p.m., but many members remained to debate and sing within the premises of the association. An American present that evening declared to have been in the courtyard at 12:20 a.m. and went into the street and didn't see anything unusual. He then returned back inside the club, but his estimation of time spent outside is approximate at best. Two witnesses were quoted by the press: Constable Smith, who was doing his rounds in the area on the night in question, and a Hungarian by the name of Schwartz, who made his statement at the police station accompanied by an interpreter because he doesn't speak English. The transcription of these statements by the press should be treated with caution. It would be advisable, if at all possible, to consult the exact content. Observe the clothing worn by the victim, as well as have possession of the time of the discovery of the body. Clothing: long black cloth jacket, fur trimmed around the bottom with a red rose and white maidenhair fern into it. Black skirt, black crepe bonnet, checked neck scarf knotted on left side, dark brown velveteen bodice, two light serge petticoats, one white is made a pocket in her underskirt, a key, a small piece of lead pencil, 6 large and 1 small button, comb, broken piece of comb, metal spoon, a hook, a spoon of dress, a piece of muslin, 1 or 2 small pieces of paper. Oh god. Catherine Edowes, 46 years old, 5 foot tall, occasional prostitute. She had a regular relationship for 7 years with one John Kelly, man of no regular employment, and about the same age as the victim. Oh my god, this is so long. I'm not reading that.
I have read and reread them, but give me something to do then. A task where I can get stuck in, because...
Find me a slaughterhouse that will give us exclusive use of its block for an hour, and find me, in your opinion, which common animal shares the most characteristics with humans from a physiological point of view.
Pig?
I don't even know why I asked that question. Pray, find a dozen fresh pig's heads, Watson. Not big heads, I prefer small ones.
Sows?
That's it, Watson. As soon as you have done that, let me know. I request that you search in Whitechapel. Who knows, perhaps you will learn something about where Dr. Tumblety may be hiding. There is also no shortage of slaughterhouses and pig's heads in those parts.
Well, I'm heading to Whitechapel then to search for pigs.
What a ridiculous idea to have asked Holmes for something to do. Where on earth am I going to find what he wants? Perhaps that kind Lucy will be able to help me.
Well, let's head to Lucy's lodgings. She doesn't appear to be here, so she's probably here.
I must go to Miss Bella's.
You're still not...
Out of the way, I don't like the look of you.
Hello, Lucy.
Good evening, Lucy. But is something wrong?
Good evening, Dr. Watson. Yes, it's my uncle. He's no longer with us.
Please accept my condolences, miss.
Thank you, Doctor. But why are you here? Can I help you?
My request may sound rather strange, but do you know if there is a butcher's or slaughterhouse in the area where pigs are killed?
Yes, Fletcher's the man. He was a regular client, owner of a little butcher's shop not far. But Miss Bella didn't want him to come. as long as he didn't treat his awful sickness.
Can you point to his shop on my map?
Certainly.
Cool.
Do you know anything about the 2 latest murders?
Oh, goodness me, no. All the girls in the neighbourhood are terrified. Who will be next? That's what everyone is asking.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Lucy.
Until next time, perhaps, Doctor.
Right, so on my map now there should be a butcher shop. That's Wasp Nest. Boarding house. Brothel. Clinic. There's the butcher shop.
Ah, there's Fletcher's butcher shop. Closed due to illness. If the proprietor is ill, the butcher's block is probably not being used. Perhaps I can use it. Now, where could a sick butcher have got to?
Clinic next door, probably.
Yes, if Fletcher is ill, he should be here.
Screaming door head off. I don't know what he looks like. Hey, Doc.
Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Good evening, Dr. Gibbons. I have come to see you because I was wondering if, by any chance, you happen to have a patient by the name of Fletcher, a butcher who would have relinquished his shop due to illness. An illness caught during nocturnal encounters, if you catch my drift.
Fletcher is one of the regulars at the clinic. Mercury treatment against syphilis. A night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury. He left London a fortnight ago for the fresh country air. Why is he of interest to you?
Oh, no reason. I'm more interested in using his shop, only for an hour or so. Would he have left his keys with family in the area?
He has none left, but he must have left Hardiman, the cat's meat seller, to oversee his shop. They're in business. They're good friends.
Do you know where he can be found?
No, but wander around the neighbourhood and listen for his beep beeps. He often passes in front of the clinic. Besides...
Besides what? Besides what? You can't just end your sentence like that, Jesus. Oh god, she's back. I don't want to leave. Hi, ma'am.
It's me that you're looking for, sweetheart.
Actually, no. I am looking for the cat food seller, Hardiman.
Hardiman? Poor Hardiman? It isn't quitting time for him yet. That gives me some time to wander the streets before he shows up, and with him all the cats hereabouts.
Do you know where he lives?
Sure, and for a copper I might even tell you.
Here are a few coins.
You're too kind, Governor. Well, these days I knows that he lives with his mammy on Hanbury Street, in the same place where Dark Annie bled to death.
5400.
Why did you call him poor Hardiman?
Bah, he's in grieving, of course. Just a few weeks ago he lost his wife, and 3 months before that his girl, poor fella. He was in tatters, even came to cry on my shoulder, believe it or not.
Well, I must leave you. I must go to Hanbury Street.
No, that is... there.
This is the building in which poor Annie Chapman was killed.
Beep,
beep. Beep, beep. Hello, are you Mr. Hardiman?
That's me.
I am Dr. Watson. I have come to see you about Fletcher's shop. I would like to use it for an hour or two, if you have the keys and your rates are reasonable.
Do you want to operate on someone in the butcher's?
Not at all. One of my friends needs it to prepare pig's heads.
Well, why not? Fletcher certainly wouldn't mind, but there's a problem.
A problem? How so?
This morning, the neighbour above broke his key in the door. The old boy must have already had a drink.
So?
Well, I tried my best to unjam it with Fletcher's spare key, which is pretty thin, and bam, that one broke too.
Hard luck. But if you have the end of the broken key, perhaps it can be fixed.
It must still be upstairs. I didn't pick it up. Fletcher has a key too, so I didn't think it was a problem. Fancy, if I just had another key with a simpler blade, I could copy it. I'm great at odd jobs.
Fine, I will try to find all of
Bye-bye.
that. Well, see you later then.
Goodbye, sir.
Is the key in the lock in a house over here, or is it back in the shop? Cat meat. It's probably here then, right? Shockingly, she's not here anymore. But there was an upstairs to this building, right? God, I can barely see.
Oh, no. But what a... Ah, how dreadful. My word. These are innards. Kebabs, the same as Hardiman's. So he prepares his meat here. This bag contains butcher's equipment. Where can I find a key with a simpler blade? On a worthless door, perhaps.
What classifies a worthless door? No, I haven't.
Have you found
I don't
everything?
know how to begin going about that. So... Well, it's probably still in like the area. Maybe there's something around here. Yeah.
This key was left inadvertently. Indeed, there is nothing terribly precious
Yeah, but it should
inside.
not be there. Okay. I
But
think-
what a stench.
Can we combine this? Maybe he can use that to make a key. It's this way.
Have you found everything I need to remake
Yes.
the key?
There you go. I think you'll manage with all of this.
I'm sure I will, sir. It won't take me long.
Say, I think there's some of your business upstairs.
Oh, you're right. I ain't had the time to sort it out. Sometimes I'm in such a hurry to prepare my meat that I forget to clean up.
But why do it in the stairwell?
Offal bleeds bucket loads, they do, as you've seen. Now, why would I do that in my own lodgings?
Ah, of course. But what about your poor neighbours?
They owe it to me, all the times I've helped them out. And I don't have a shop either.
Say, you sell animal meat, isn't that right? Would you know where I could find a dozen small pig's heads?
The guy who gets me my offal should have some.
I'll pay your day's wages if you meet me at Fletcher's butcher shop in 2 hours with the pig's heads. Here's a little advance.
2 hours to get
I'll do my
12
best,
big
Doctor.
heads.
The caretaker of another building told us that the place where your mother lives has a reputation for facilitating prostitutes' activities. Is that true?
Sure, the doors are never closed. They come through here like it's Paddington Station.
By the way, I heard about your loss. My condolences.
Ta, sir. I saw them die slow deaths. My little girl, her face was eaten
no.
by the deceased.
Thank you, my friend, and please forgive me for bringing up such painful memories.
Go, I must do my rounds, and I will look for what you've asked for.
As for me, I will go and find Holmes, and we will go to the butcher's together. Let's return to Fletcher's butcher shop.
Your heads are on the block inside. Say, you wouldn't be the same chap who bought my whole load the other day.
It's possible, but if you want to continue to do business together, you mustn't speak of my presence in the area to anyone.
Don't worry, my lord. I'll be as quiet as a church mouse.
Holmes, will you explain the reason and rhyme behind this masquerade?
Elementary. We shall conduct an experiment that will allow us to answer a simple question. Does the type of weapon used by the killer correspond to a specific profession? And here are our sow's heads. Congratulations, Watson.
You're welcome, Holmes, but what do you really want to do? Take up a collection?
Waiting quickly rot.
There is nothing further to find in this room, Watson. However, I need some knives. Our only hope is behind this door.
Should I break it open? Look.
There is nothing further to find in... There, this door is slightly raised. Elementary. While I prepare our experiment, could you find me 2 knives? A small one, somewhat larger than a pocket knife, with a large, sharp blade. We'll need it to separate the bones and to cut through the thick skins. Then find me a long knife that's at least 13 inches long, no shorter, that's sharp and has a thick blade.
Fine, Holmes, but I'd like to tell you about Hardiman. Do you know that he prepares his kebabs himself, and...
That he owns butcher's tools and uses offal? That's obvious, Watson. Pray, take my magnifying glass and my rule and get started, Watson. Find me these 2 knives.
Right, one that's a little bit larger than a pocket knife. That's probably that one. And this one. Well, maybe I should have measured. No.
Here are the knives you asked for. Be careful, they're awfully sharp. Holmes, I must say that this experiment is making me rather uneasy, comparing animal heads to these poor women.
You're right, Watson, but this somewhat shocking experiment may help to end this massacre and save other victims. You can be sure of that. Look, these pigs' heads are still bloody, which will suit our experiment perfectly. I have a pocket knife and a scalpel with me. With the 2 knives you just brought me, we have a similar array of weapons as those probably used by the killer. We saw 3 types of throat wounds on the deceased attributed to this man. Those intended to slit the throat, those intended to decapitate, and the more superficial yet mortal wound that led to the death of the unfortunate victim in Dutfield's yard, Miss Stride. With the help of these 4 knives, we are going to try to recreate these wounds on the pigs' heads and see what we can establish about the weapon or weapons used. We may also be able to rule out Miss Stride as a victim of the killer of the other 3.
Experiment 1. Let's with the help of 4 knives, try to reproduce on the 3 pig's heads the wounds indicated by Sherlock Holmes and determine which type of weapons were used by Jack the Ripper. Click on pig's heads to get a close-up image. Once you have selected one or several knives for each wound, select one or more knives and place them in the crime weapon section.
Let's try to use these weapons on this head to obtain a large deep wound to the throat, like those that were noted on 3 of the 4 victims.
No, that's a sound. Uh,
This little knife is very sharp and has a very wide blade. This little knife is very sharp and has a very wide blade. Look, Watson, this knife easily penetrates the flesh. The wound is too shallow.
okay, so
This
it's
pocket knife is
probably
very sharp,
this
but its blade is
big
too
one.
thin.
So it's that one.
Look, Watson, this knife easily... Let's try to decapitate our victim with these tools, knowing
Isn't
that the
it just-
killer didn't quite manage to do it.
Charming.
This knife with a long blade easily slices the flesh, but cannot dislocate the vertebrae. The blade of this
So,
pocket
this
knife
one
is too
maybe?
thin to reach the vertebrae.
Gruesome.
Look, Watson, this little knife with a wide base can
So,
easily
that
slice
one.
the vertebrae of our porcine friend. Let's see if these knives can inflict a mortal wound in a situation where a single quick blow is given. The scenario in question is that of Dutfield's yard. It cuts through the flesh easily as the blade is so sharp. In using the cutting edge of this pocket knife's blade, I can scrape the skin. Look, Watson, the blade sinks easily into the flesh. This particularly sharp
So,
blade can make a deep gash with one
these
quick
ones.
slice.
Or did I not get it right? Probably.
Let's try to use these weapons. This little knife is very sharp and has a very wide
Might
blade.
be these two.
Look, Watson, this knife easily penetrates the flesh. Let's try to decapitate our victim.
Okay, so
Charming.
maybe not that one.
The blade of this pocket knife is too thin to reach the vertebrae. With a scalpel, the wound is too shallow. This knife with a long blade
What in
easily
combination?
slices the flesh, but cannot dislocate the vertebrae.
Let's try combo.
Let's see if these knives can inflict a mortal
I'm pretty
wound in
sure
a situation
it's
where a
that one, but there we go.
elementary.
Okay, wait.
Let's try to decapitate.
Charming.
Oh, maybe I have to use all the knives. Okay, I have to use all
Look,
the
Watson,
knives.
this little elementary. Let's try to use these weapons. This pocket knife is very
Oh,
sharp.
he's having a stroke.
The wound is too shallow.
It's
Elementary.
all of them. Well, well, the only one in all three of them is the big one.
That's it, Watson, the big knife. With respect to the opinion of the medical examiners who noted that a butcher's knife with a long blade would have caused the eviscerations on some of the victims, we can assume, Watson, that he only used this type of weapon as it is capable of inflicting all of the wounds displayed. Furthermore, the Dutfield's Yard murder remains attributable, for the moment, to the Whitechapel killer, if we are able to explain why the murderer used his knife in a different manner. Why not go there now? We will try to reenact the killer's actions that night. Our first objective will be to clarify, one way or another, the statements of Constable Smith, as well as this Hungarian by the name of Schwartz. We must also try to find out more about the International Working
It
Men's
was called the
Educational
International.
Club, underneath which the murder took place, perhaps at the Wasp's Nest.
Yes, let's go
Wasn't
to
it called a gentleman's
Dutfield's
club?
Yard or wherever, but quickly. I am in urgent need of fresh air.
Let's
So
go
what,
to the
is that
Wasp's
there?
Nest.
Okay.
Don't forget that Bluto may still be hiding here. I will try to find out more inside. You, Watson, must intercept the policeman on his rounds. Given the hour and a bit of luck, it will be Smith. Try to get some information from him.
Understood, Holmes.
Hello.
I know you. You're Squibby's guardian angel. You weren't dressed the same last time, but I don't forget a face. No hard feelings, eh? Join me in a glass?
Your Jack the Ripper is on everyone's lips and written in all of the papers. You must be awfully proud of yourself. You have skill, that's for certain. It's a shame you use it to mask rather than discover the truth.
You better believe that I'm going to find out who it is. I got a hold of old Schwartz's interpreter. You know, the Hungarian who saw Liz Stride get it. Doesn't speak a word of English. And when he went round to the station, another Jew went along to interpret. I found that bloke, and he repeated everything that had been said at the station. It won't be long before I find these fellows.
Why do you say these fellows? Were there several of them?
Do you not read the papers, or what? Well, given the rubbish that you read sometimes. Let me explain. At 12:45 a.m., Schwartz goes down Burner Street towards Fairclough, on the side of the road where the Workers' Club is. A bit further from there, just near Dutfield Yard's wooden doors, a chap and a lady are arguing. The Star said that the bloke wanted to push the girl into Dutfield's yard, but the translator told me that Schwartz saw him pulling her towards the road. She doesn't want to follow. He grabs her by the shoulders and throws her to the ground. She falls a bit, but not too loudly. Old Schwartz is scared, crosses to the other side, but continues in the same direction. The bloke with the girl notices him and yells, "Lipsky!" At the same time, another bloke at the corner of Fairclough and Burner who was lighting his pipe gets in on the action. He starts coming towards Schwartz in a menacing way, and Schwartz takes to his heels, doesn't see anything else. Once he finds out that a woman got herself killed, he went to testify and identified Long Liz Stride as the woman he saw getting thrown about. So there were definitely two blokes, mate. But why? Why am I telling you all this?
In vino veritas. Why do you say these? In vino I'll take my leave then, Mr. Bulling.
That's right. Till next time.
If you're looking for some company, Gov, you've come to the wrong place. Me, I'm just here to pour. I don't care who you is, I knows nothing, and I don't care neither.
A draught, my good man.
Here, sir.
Tell me, was it not a mere stone's throw away from here that the Whitechapel killer struck last week?
That'd be Jack the Ripper, that's his name. Slit the throat of a working girl in a small courtyard over there behind them big wooden doors.
Below the Workers'
Oh
Club?
god, you're
The very
anti-Semitic.
spot, below Lipsky and Co. I wouldn't be surprised if Jack was one of them, if you catch my drift.
Lipsky and Company. Do you mean to say that someone called Lipsky runs this club?
Nah, it's just that it's full of Jews. In Whitechapel, we call them all Lipskys, like that Lipsky who killed that girl in Batty Street last year.
Oh, really?
Last year, a Jew named Israel Lipsky killed a lass who was 6 months pregnant by making her drink acid. One trial and one protest by rabbis later, and he was hanging. By those who don't much like him, the Jews are called Lipskys.
Is the term Lipskys used to refer to the Jews in the area, and is this club frequented by Jews?
You got it. Socialist Jews even. They spend their evenings hollering, singing. I've seen them spitting on the bosses.
And you know the victim?
No more her than any other.
Goodbye.
The working girls don't drum up business too much in this street. They need a reason to end up here.
Very well. Goodbye.
Cheers.
It's probably this guy right here, right?
First and foremost, I must find P.C. Smith. Good evening, Constable.
Good evening, sir.
I am Dr. Watson. Would you happen to be P.C. Smith, the man who patrols this beat?
That's me. And you work with the famous Sherlock Holmes, don't you? What can I do for you?
I believe you were on duty the night when the murder took place here. You would certainly be able to confirm a few details, such as the time of death that the medical examiner gave.
It's just that I wasn't there when the body was discovered. I don't think I can help you.
But I was told that you had seen the victim that very night.
Indeed. But it was before the murder. I saw her, not far from here.
Microphone.
She was talking to a man. It was around 12:30 or 12:35 a.m.
What did this man look like?
I only saw him from behind, really. He was wearing a short black outfit, a small felt hat like a cap in a dark colour, and a white collar. He seemed to be a respectable type. He was carrying a packet in his hand wrapped in newspaper, about 18 inches long and about 6 inches wide.
His outfit reminds me of someone that I know. Was he a large man, on the older side?
I don't think so, no. Even though I only saw him from behind, I would say that he was barely 30 years old, or even less. Say 28, or even less. 26 years old, and 5 foot 8 inches tall at the very most. He had a small dark brown
I thought you only
moustache
saw
and
him
an
from
olive
behind.
complexion, I would
P.C.
say.
Smith,
But
your
once again, I only
explanation
caught
is
a
changing.
brief glimpse of his face in three-quarter profile.
Nobody else saw this man?
I discussed this previously with Mr. Eagle, the president of the Workers' Club. That night he returned around 12:40 a.m. to the club. He used the passage through Dutfield's yard to get into the club because the main door was locked. He can attest that he didn't see anyone else in the passage at that time, but wasn't really paying attention to who else might have been in Burner Street itself. He was listening to the song coming from the club. In short, no one else saw him.
Well, thank you for having satisfied my curiosity, my friend.
A fine evening to you, Doctor.
Do I have that on the map?
Well, Watson, let's go to Dutfield's yard.
Well, I was around, the cobbler shop, right? Sort of.
I have no reason to go that way.
Because like the gentleman's club is around these parts, isn't it? That's the pet shop. Oh, I'm not allowed to go in there. Handy knife cleaner. Exciting. So...
The Whitechapel Church. The clock is wrong.
Where's that eating this? Oh, fine. Excuse me, pardon me.
I have no reason to go that way.
So where can it be? I didn't particularly pay attention, I think, to that one cutscene, so it's the police station, not of interest at the moment. It's not through here. Definitely not through there. Oops. Not through there. And I've gone in circles again.
I have no reason to go that way.
It wasn't through there. So where?
I have no reason to go that way. I have no reason to go that way.
Back by the rubble. I am so lost. Okay, so I am completely in the wrong place.
Let's go to Dutfield's yard. It's not far from the wasp's nest.
Is it up here then? Oh, there. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is literally right next door.
Dutfield's yard. Your interrogation of P.C. Smith has proven to be very shrewd and of great interest.
Midnight,
Thanks to the
the
information
convenience.
I've managed to gather and that you were able to read in my notes in Baker Street, Watson, we can recreate what happened that fateful night at this location, Dutfield's Yards to be precise, the site of Liz Stride's murder.
12:20 a.m. The American goes up for some air. Noah's in the street.
Midnight, the Socialist Club meeting ends. The members, mainly Jewish men, gradually begin to leave the club in little groups or
Between
alone.
12:30 and 12:35, PC Smith sees Lee Stride speaking to the man with the packet. So let's put it at
12:20 a.m. The American leaves the Socialists Club for some fresh air. The street is deserted.
and this one was at 12:40.
(12:30 to 12:35 a.m.) Smith notices Liz Stride talking to the man with the package. 12:40 a.m. Eagle, the president of the club, enters the workers' club via the passageway through Dutfield's yard. He passed through Dutfield's yard. If Liz Stride had already been killed, he would have had to walk over her. The murder, therefore, had not yet happened. 12:43 a.m. Israel Swartz passes by Dutfield's yard and witnesses the attack on Liz Stride. 12:44 a.m. Schwartz crosses to the other side of the road. The attacker sees him and yells, "Lipsky." The attacker must have shouted to his accomplice at the end of the road, "Lipsky," indicating at Schwartz using his head in an attempt to scare off this undesirable. 12:45 a.m. Schwartz runs away, followed for a short distance by this man. 1 a.m. Mr. Diemschutz wants to enter with his cart, but the pony refuses. We know that the murder took place between 12:45 and 1 a.m. Mr. Diemschutz, therefore, must have disturbed the killer. Let's place Liz Stride's murder on the timeline, Watson. 12:45 to 1 a.m. The murder of Liz Stride. It took place in this very spot, as the traces of blood were very confined. We will come back to this point in a few moments to elaborate on what could have happened. Well, we are still missing certain information in order to finish this investigation, Watson.
Wait, where did she go?
Watson, imagine the victim laid down there on the ground. Her right hand, it is bloody, as is her wrist. Her left hand, it is closed around a bag of pastils. Her left hand, it is... The throat, there is but one clean cut, slightly slanted downwards.
Right then, let's go to the deduction.
The ground is muddy.
The knees and the bottom of the dress at the front are clean, and the ground is dirty.
Her knees and dress, they are clean.
And the victim did struggle, and was killed lying down? Question mark? Stride and the murder was lying down at the moment of the mortal blow. The wound for neck is clean, starting from the right and slightly oblique and descending. The blow was given with the left hand, I guess. Oh wait, right hand. Only one wound and proved to be mortal. Murderer struck the blow from his height, and I've cocked something up there, but let's go back to that later. He's definitely right-handed. Murderer is strong. He's a strong man. Bloody right hand and wrist, and the carotid was in slits. The victim had her hand on her throat. The murder weapon was thin. Right, so we need to figure out here. She was killed upright, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Oh boy.
We have two possibilities. The first is that Liz Stride's killer and the attacker, seen by Schwartz, were one and the same man. The second is that Liz Stride meets a client. After some discussion, they head toward... Arrive, the attacker appears while his accomplice keeps watch. Schwartz's arrival dissuades the two men from lingering. They leave the area and leave Liz Stride in a tense state, but glad to have kept her client. He will be her murderer. Both hypotheses are possible, but an incongruous detail will serve to corroborate one of them. An incongruous detail that we were able to establish regarding the Hanbury Street murder. Which one would that be, Watson? Look at the victim carefully, Watson, and tell me the link between the murder of Liz Stride and those of Nichols and Chapman. No, that's not it. No, that's not it.
The bag of pastils, Holmes?
The bag of pastils. Indeed, Watson. If this woman had to defend herself against an attacker, why would she have held onto this bag in her hand? It didn't fall because this woman's hand tensed at the moment when she fell to the ground. Therefore, Watson, we know the killer distracted his victim's attention by making them take something out of their pockets. Why didn't he slit her throat like the others? He must have feared a struggle with this strong-willed woman. Why didn't he eviscerate her? Because Louis Diemschutz arrived.
Do you think the Whitechapel killer is behind this murder, Holmes?
Yes, and now this murder has been linked to its rightful perpetrator, it will take on deeper meaning when we have examined the facts from that night. Let's go to Mitre Square, where Catherine Eddowes was killed. And make haste, Watson, as we have another murder to commit in 40 minutes. Here we are, Watson, Mitre Square. It took us a mere 20 minutes to get here. If the killer left Dutfield's yard around 1 o'clock, as we assume, he would have arrived here at around 1:20 a.m. We know that Catherine Eddowes' body was discovered at 1:44 a.m. Catherine was released from prison around 1 o'clock, but we have no information as to what she could have been doing until her death. This place has 3 possible ways out. Let's see where they lead. As a precaution, I brought an old map of the area with me. It will help us get our bearings.
Let's hurry, Holmes. This neighbourhood makes me ill at ease.
This is Mitre Street, from where Watkins, the constable who found the body, came. I have no reason to go that way.
Nope. Hello.
Church Passage. It must be opposite the Imperial Club at 16 to 17 Duke Street. Let's go to the end of this lane, Watson. Hello, you must be Abraham Solomonovich, am I right?
Yes, that's me. But I know you. You brought a lad to my place to take care of a cat, and I loaned you my mask.
That's me. May I present?
Dr. Watson, of course. Delighted. And you? I have known for a few days that you are a detective by the name of Sherlock Holmes. Is that so?
You don't miss a thing, do you? It was the children who gave me away, am I right?
They didn't want to, but I gained their confidence by offering them a small comb and half a cake.
They made a good deal out of it, so I don't blame them. However, I must request, as a personal favor, that you do not reveal my identity.
You have my word. Curiosity is just killing me, as you may have guessed. Would it be breaking an oath to confide in me the nature of the investigation that you are leading?
Does this spot where we are now in Mitre Square mean anything to you?
A demon lives in this city, Mr. Holmes. These unmentionable acts degrade the human race and put the Jewish community in terrible danger.
Lots of rumors are circulating, but they are but rumors. I see you're leaving the Imperial Club. It's a stone's throw away from Mitre Square, and the 2 recent murders were most probably discussed in there. Do you know if anyone from the club saw or heard anything that night?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. That night, 3 members of our club saw a woman talking to a man at the very spot where we are standing, a few minutes before the body was found at the end of this passage. Fantastic, Holmes.
Calm yourself, Watson. There is nothing at the moment to suggest it was the victim. Can we meet these members?
I am afraid that won't be possible. As soon as the police heard the evidence of these men, they were sworn to silence.
I understand.
But you are working for the good, and I must tell you what I know. One of the 3 men, my friend Joseph, left that night with 2 other members of the Imperial Club, Harry and another Joseph. It was around 1:35 a.m., perhaps a bit earlier, when Joseph, not my friend, but the other, the Aldgate butcher, exited. He saw a man and a woman in discussion at this very spot where we are.
These men must have been about 16 feet away from the couple.
That's about right. So Joseph, the butcher, said to the other 2, while pointing at the couple, "Look, I don't like going home alone when I see this kind of people here." My friend Joseph looked at them, without noticing anything strange and didn't understand what he meant. They had the look of two rather unkempt people, but no more than that.
After the murder, did these three men tell the police what they had seen?
Not quite. Harry stated that he hadn't seen the couple. As for Joseph, the butcher, even though he was the one who commented on them and pointed them out, said that he couldn't remember anything except that the man was about 3 inches taller than the woman, who was 5 feet tall, no more. My friend Joseph, on the other hand, did his best to cooperate with the police.
And what did your friend Joseph say? What did this man and woman look like?
The man must have been 30 years old, about 5 foot 7 inches, light complexion, and a fair moustache. He wore a loose, dark jacket, a grey cap, and a red scarf around his neck. But he said that he only saw him for a brief instant, and it would be impossible to recognize him.
And the woman?
He only saw her from behind. She had her hand on the man's stomach and seemed to be pushing him. He said that he remembered that she was small, was wearing a black jacket and a black bonnet. After his testimony, the police took him to see the clothing of the deceased, and Joseph said that they looked identical to those of the woman he had seen. Like I already said, he only glanced at the two, as he was headed with the others in the direction of Aldgate.
One final question. The Imperial Club is a Jewish club, isn't that correct?
Indeed.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Solomonovich.
It was nothing. We must at all costs prevent this demon from striking again. And the police seem to have some difficulty in doing that. I wish you the best of luck, Mr. Holmes.
Next Sunday. Hi.